Hello and welcome back to episode number 7 of Confessions of a Virtual Boss. And as always, your host and virtual boss, Michael Brody. And thanks again for joining me today. I really do appreciate it, as you know. And our episode today is how to get back control of your life by outsourcing to the Philippines. Why is mastering time a must for you? What's it going to give you? What are you willing to do to make it happen? What are you prepared to give? I really want you to focus on a why at a personal level. What would you do with the time if you have it? Perhaps you would spend more time with family and friends. Perhaps you'd be able to take more vacations and have new experiences. Maybe you want to focus your energy on what matters to you instead of wasting life doing tasks you don't want to do. Maybe that's why. So we're going to really dig deep down into this on this show today. And we're going to really focus on that and ask some specific questions. I'm going to end the show today with specific action steps you can take right now, today, that's going to open up the possibility of using that leverage to get back control of your life. As Churchill would say, we will never surrender, Britain. I can remember that if you've ever seen the war speeches. I'm 24, but I like a lot of these old things. And that's, you've got to get back control of your life. You got to fight. You cannot surrender. Okay, let's just leave the impressions to the pros, Michael. Okay, let's just cut the impressions out and get back to the juicy stuff. Okay, so before committing to anything, think about why you want to do it. Me personally, I did it for 2 reasons. The first reason was salary costs. Having skilled staff let me take my business to the next level, let me grow it, make more money, grow the business. The second reason I did it was I wanted to get back control. I wanted freedom in my life. If I don't want to work like crazy, which I sometimes do, then it's my choice, not somebody else's. It's the business itself doesn't even dictate it. It's my choice. If I want to go work from the balcony, as you guys know I often do my shows from the balcony. I find it peaceful. I'll do just that. If I want to outsource everything and I just want to work 1 or 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, then that's also an option for me. I've done that before as well. Sometimes I just need to take time out for a few weeks, and I do that. The point I'm making is controlling your life means leverage. It means applying the laws of leverage through outsourcing. It also means you've got to snowball things by adding the right people to your team. I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs. I mean a lot of entrepreneurs, all different sides of America, Britain, all over the place. And I'm a naturally inquisitive anyway. I'm a naturally inquisitive person. And although I never found the academic side of learning fun, it never motivated me. I do, however, love the art of learning. I think most entrepreneurs do. You probably do yourself. That's why you're listening to a show like Confessions of a Virtual Boss in the first place. And my own experiences and the experiences I've gathered from other people asking the questions is I've came to the conclusion that entrepreneurs who outsource, they generally fall into these categories. Maybe you're in 1 or even 2 or 3 of these categories yourself. A, you want to work less, perhaps 15 or 20 hour week instead of a 40, 50, 60 hour week. Maybe you yourself don't see life as about work. Maybe you see it so much more. Maybe you want to go into business or you got into business so you'd be able to be the boss. Working crazy hours out of necessity instead of choice would defeat the whole point of why you even went into freaking business in the first place. You didn't go in to do the 60 hours. You got out the rat race so you could have the freedom to not do that. I know a lot of people who make tremendous, I'm talking fantastic incomes, and have a tremendous lifestyle while working 15 and 20 hour weeks. Believe me, they do. These people do exist. I know it. I know a lot of people like this. They delegate literally everything. They delegate all the tasks between a team of virtual assistants. Some manage to do this with only like 1, 2 VAs and a salary budget of under $1,000 a month. I mean, it's crazy, but this happens. This is possible. A lot of people are doing it, especially younger people who know this exists. B, they want to blow the business up. That's another reason. This is the next type of person who falls under the categories. So category B, they want to blow the business up and they really want to make a lot of money. I'm talking like serious cash here. Think about it this way. If you want to grow your business dramatically in a short period of time, you need to do two things. I'm talking the big bucks here. You need to give everything that you personally have to the business. You've got to go at it like never before. You've got to go at it tremendously. You've got to go at it like a bull with a red flag waving. You need to give everything, everything, everything. In addition to that, everything's not always enough, especially now because of all this, the application of leverage and outsourcing. You giving everything might not actually be enough. It might have been 20 years ago. It's not now. In addition to you giving everything, you need a team around you so that you can attack every single angle and you can multiply your value and empower other people to be able to take it on. What better way to do it? I'll ask you a question. What better way to do it? This is a question from a cost perspective and a skill perspective. What better way to do that than hire virtual employees, somewhere like the Philippines, from $400 a month who can totally dedicate themselves. Remember, total dedication is the full time, the full works, the full shebang to a specific area of your business. Whether developing sites, whether calling customers, whether social media, perhaps even customer service, whatever will add value and grow the business, that's what is important to this category of person. This is what's important. So figure that one out. C, category C, option C, whatever we want to call it, we can call it whatever the hell we want because we're in charge, is outsource yourself for total freedom. Many one-man bands, solo entrepreneurs, or individual professionals do this to tremendous success. I have friends all over the world, but one of the first who used this model way years back, this was even before I was involved in the virtual outsourcing game, wasn't even involved in this industry back then. And it was a pal of mine called Andy. He had a web design development business, okay? He charged $2-3 grand for a website. This is pounds, by the way. So that's like at the time like $5,000. And he was getting the $4,000 or $5,000 or £2,000-3,000. And how he did it was he hired 2 full-time developers in the Philippines. He had a back-end guy who knew Python and Django framework, who was a software guy, and the other was a front-end graphics guy. He did the flash of the site. He made it look the part. He made it look the shit. He really made it look the works. He also, the guy who was doing the front end, also had some basic knowledge on analytics and things like that. So what Andy did was, remember, this is just Andy. He had Andy and 2 guys in the Philippines. Andy's based in Newcastle in the northeast of England, which is my home city, incidentally. And he spoke to clients, and Andy would go meet the clients initially. He'd discuss the project, and he'd keep them updated. However, so as far as the client's concerned, there's Andy, and maybe he's got a team for him, in the UK. However, he outsourced all the mechanics of the business, all of the labor-intensive tasks in the business. He more or less replaced himself, didn't do them himself. He took himself out of the day-to-day business, and he spent his time doing other things, such as golf and vacations. And actually, the golf led to more clients. It does actually work, But that wasn't the predominant reason he did it. He did it because he wanted to. And I've spoken, like seriously, guys, I've spoken to so many people. And I've also felt the same way as you're probably thinking right now. If you choose option C, if you fall into category C, where you want to outsource it or replace yourself, you begin feeling guilty that perhaps you're being lazy. Trust me, I've felt that way. I've felt as though, come on, I've got friends who are going to work, they're working crazy hours, stressed, I haven't got time for anything. I've got all this time, I'm doing what I want to do. Something's not right. I felt guilty. I felt guilty for the people who weren't living the life I was living. But it's bullshit. It's bullshit. Here's the thing. You feel that way because of what society's trained you to believe. In fact, you're not lazy at all. You shouldn't feel guilty. You're smart. You're actually applying the rules of the game, and you're living life on your terms. You're not conforming. And remember, conformity is the opposite of courage. Which of these 3? Okay. Now I'm going to get down. I'm going to ask you the question. Which of those 3 appeals to you? Which category would you put yourself closest to? Maybe you'd put yourself in one or 2 categories. Some people want to blow a business, make a hell of a lot of money. They also want to have the freedom and the control. So think about those three. Think where you would be. That's the important question of all this. And let me ask you, what in life is important to you? What would you decide to take back control of? And what possibilities would you embrace? What will you do when you get back control? I say this real specific, okay? But taking back control of your life means, firstly, you have to have a clear image of what it is that currently sucks in your life. Or what do you do and wish you were not doing? What tasks do you sit there and think, Christ, I want to be anywhere in the world. I want to do anything, literally fucking anything, but not this task. Ask yourself that question. Remember, choice is the root of leverage. First you make the choice, then you decide, then you use leverage and you outsource by hiring VAs and virtual assistants to do those things. Growing a virtual team, here's the thing, guys. Growing a virtual team is not difficult. People are going to try and sell you on the complexity of it, the challenges, the cultural differences. It's bullshit. They're doing it because they're trying to sell you on a system, or they're trying to sell you on a way to get money from you. It's not the case. This is not difficult. Not difficult. I'm a 24-year-old guy, and I've been doing it for a number of years now, 3 or 4 years. Just like when I talked about this on previous podcasts, when I had the shops, 17. It's not difficult. I mean, I was a 17-year-old kid, got the stores in the biggest shopping centre in Europe, for Christ's sake. It's not difficult. Really isn't difficult. Growing a virtual team is not difficult. Like anything in life, it's only difficult when we as humans make it difficult. People making things challenging, people putting self prophecy obstacles in the way, or whatever we want to call it. And usually that stems from fear. It stems from uncertainty. And looking around us at all the people in life who are failing. And by the way, failure has nothing to do with money. And I'm a fan of money, like most of us are. I like the bucks. I like the money. Don't get me wrong. I like the dough, the geld, whatever we want to say. But a person who is failing is not someone who is not super, super wealthy. It's someone who blames circumstances instead of taking accountability and control of the life. Failure is conformity. Growing a virtual team goes way beyond temporary cover. We're not talking about taking a 2-3 week vacation and getting someone to cover while you're away and hope the ship doesn't sink. Hope that the business doesn't burn to the ground. Hope that you don't come back to tatters and, the remains of Rome. It's not about that. It's about taking back control and creating something that is not a temporary fix, but instead it's a long-term, sustainable way to build and grow businesses, a way to live your life, and removing the parts you don't like. So instead, you can replace them with things you do. Okay, so I'm going to give you some action steps right now. I'm going to give you some action steps you can take from the show today. Things that hopefully will help you. And I know they will, actually. As long as you take these seriously, they're going to help you. Same steps I took when I first began outsourcing. Number 1, what things do you not like doing in your life or business? Number 2, what would you rather be doing instead of doing those things? Spending time with family, traveling, perhaps playing golf, working on other areas of the business where you add more value. Whatever it is for you, just write it down. Whatever's coming to your head, write it down. Don't think too much into it, but whatever's coming to your head immediately is the things you should be writing down, really. Number 3, why is getting back control in your life important to you? Why is it important to you? Number 4, what jobs and tasks could you outsource? Make a list of everything that you don't want to do, or perhaps things that you should be doing but you're not doing right now. Maybe you're not updating social media daily. You're not doing, frequent blogging or different, whatever it is for you, customer care, customer service calls, whatever it is. Write it down, what jobs or tasks you could outsource. Number 5, what skills would your virtual assistant possess? What skills would they have? What specific areas in the business Really think about that and write it down. Get a picture of who it is you need. Number 6, how much can you afford to pay your virtual assistant? What budget do you have? What salary budget do you have? Really think about this, because ultimately the salary budget is what your time is worth. Let's say it's $500 a month, just to pluck a figure out the air. Say $400, $500. Let's say $500 a month, 160 hours a week. That's like $3 an hour. Is your time worth $3 an hour? What's that, like £2.20 an hour? Is your time worth that? Is your life worth £2.20 an hour to be doing something else? Number 7, do you want a part-time or a full-time virtual assistant? Now, this depends. I mean, I don't know where you are in life at the moment. I don't know how, maybe you're just starting a business. Maybe you're not in business. Maybe you want to outsource some tasks you do for your current employer. Some employers would get pissed if they found out. But the truth is, you're actually showing initiative. And if the work's getting done, then who gives a crap? It's about results at the end of the day. Results are what count. Bullshit walks. Number 8, what's your plans for the business in your life moving forward? The next 12 months, the long-term goal. What do you want more than anything else? And how can leverage get you that? Think about those questions and write them down. It's super important this. Write them down on a piece of paper and then start to design a game plan for your life and for your business. And remember, you can have control. You can use leverage. You can get rid of the crap and you can bring in the good stuff, and you can do it. I know it because I do it myself. I often tell people this, but it is not fucking difficult. It is easy. People are going to try and tell you it's difficult because they're going to want to try and get big fees out of you to sell you the secret. Don't buy it. You don't need it. It's not difficult. It's not challenging. It's just about deciding what and then taking the steps necessary to do it. Okay, so guys, this has been a great podcast. I've really enjoyed this show. I enjoy every show, actually, but this one in particular, because I know this one you can really take, the steps I've outlined above, and you can really start taking action today. It would be great to hear from you. Tweet me on Twitter @TheVirtualBoss. Alternatively, check out my website, www.michaelbrody.net, which is specific towards outsourcing, leverage, and hiring virtual assistants. Thanks again for listening to Confessions of a Virtual Boss, and I hope it's helped. Take care, and I will see you next time.